As PC gamers, we don't often get the chance to ninja, or to ninge as I prefer to say, despite what the Oxford English Dictionary may recommend. Third-person jumpy shooty swordy just doesn't seem to be as popular on the PC as it is on the consoles. Well, now there's Warframe, which is also on the PS4. Warframe is a free-to-play game with lots and lots of things to buy in case you get bored of actually playing the game. Different character classes, different guns, different colours, bloody scarves for your character, yep, it's all here. Swipe your credit card to your wallet's content. Note that this is still being called a beta. In English, this still means unfinished game. However, is it actually fun before you put any money down? Generally speaking, it is. Now, that comes with a few caveats. It is fun to play, and the fact that it's a cooperative multiplayer game and not a team deathmatch shooter is a really nice surprise. But there are a few issues with the game itself, specifically the level design, that make it, for the moment, fun only in short bursts. Quite often you find yourself going through the same sections of a level time after time. Areas are pretty much copied and pasted from section to section, from level to level. Maybe I'm being inattentive, perhaps there's some grand key to understanding the level design that I've missed so far. However, I've played the game for about 12 hours and don't feel like I'm uncovering some grand plan at all. There's just no real sense of scale either. The game really quickly gives up on the interesting storytelling method with which it opens, and instead just starts giving you missions to do. Look, things to shoot. Oh look, things to shoot. And look, there's some more of them. I just feel like I'm going through a bunch of large arenas that are entirely derived from each other. Entire bloody sections copied and pasted from level to level. It really wears thin. There may well be umpteen levels, but frankly I'm buggered if I could see much difference between the 15 or so that I've played. There are a lot of different Warframes to buy, each of which gives you a different character class. There's mods for everything, some of which give your character different powers. For example, the Warframe called Mag can use a mod which pulls groups of enemies toward her, knocking them to the floor and leaving them vulnerable to her shooting. Loki, another of the starting classes, could swap position with another unit or deploy a decoy unit to attract enemy attention. This sort of stuff is really fun to use, but you just don't get enough of it quickly enough. This is the problem that a lot of free-to-play games have. How do you give enough content to keep a game interesting and still make money? Warframe isn't terrible in this regard. Stuff like the big cyber axe looks like it would be really fun to play with. The starting sword alone is fun to use, and a lot of the various things in the shop do look like they'd be really cool and not just the same weapon model with slightly better stats. Hawken, for example, gave me 2 additional mechs to use in the first 7 or so hours of the game. Warframe has given me a gun, or rather has let me buy a gun that's actually the exact same model as the gun I've got already, but with better stats. And it gave me just enough premium credits to buy something, but 25 short of buying something useful. So I bought a scarf. The combat is really nice, however, and a decent machine that can run it at a decent frame rate. It's actually really fun to go shooty jumpy slashy, running up walls and chopping fools up. However, the controls can be a little fiddly, especially with the default settings on the PC. Attempts at surgical swordsmanship often leave you hacking mercilessly at fresh air, while your intended target uses bullets to inoculate you against living. For an hour or so a night though, it really is quite fun, especially when there's a few players on a mission, whether it's through the game's built-in match finder system or with a few friends. It still gets repetitive pretty quickly, but far more slowly than playing alone does. Conclusion then. Well, it's pretty good. It's just not a game I love enough to actually want to spend money on yet. I do, however, quite like playing it, and there's a lot of weapons and warframes and cool looking powers that I genuinely would love to get my hands on. I just wish I could get my hands on them now, rather than having to climb Time Mountain or throw coins into the fountain of distant treasures.